Good evening and welcome back to the Mancunian Way. My name is Martin. I'm your host, joined by Pat, Rich, True City fan Patrick, and some bloke we found on the street who's picked up a headset. Good evening, Alan, Pat, Rich, and Pat, True City fan. How are we all?
It's not even his house.
Whose house? What?
Oh, you picked him off the street. I'm trying to figure out whose house that is.
By the way, does everyone like this now? Tell me in the chat, do you all like these comments on screen now? Because it's a new thing StreamYard have come up with. Let me know if you like it. I know it's a bit small. But hey ho. Good afternoon, Mingy Wong. Hope you're doing well. Give it a thumbs up tonight for Martin. Hey, that actually fitting all together, that. Looking forward to the show, says James. Looks like we're still negotiating deals for Cherki and Reinders. Reinders we're not. Reinders is done. It is over the line. Nothing is yet clear in terms of when it gets done. Reinders will be announced tomorrow. You will get the here we go tomorrow. City also tagging Ignore It and and the 9-day chance to win the shuts next week. Reopens the 16th of June. Good evening, FIFA. How are you, my old bud? Harry, good to hear you last night, mate. Thank you for joining us in the space. Darcy's with us. Seems like we're making business in its actual proper quality. Only annoying thing is the constant PR phrases, closing in, discussing, because they can't say agents are robbing little sods and they've asked for extra money. You know how it is, Dash. Tijani Reinders, 2-man City could be completed tomorrow. Yeah, that is now being reported everywhere. I've heard of the financial bureaucrat details. Yeah, welcome. Arsenal fans are shitting themselves. Why? Good evening, DC. How are you? I hope you are well. Tenerife was lovely. I had a lovely time. Recharged the batteries. It was amazing. I tagged me out. Patrick, True City fan, got tagged in. I didn't realize he was going to go live 17 times in one day, every day, like, you know. We loaned Pat out to the South Stand. Alan's been everywhere. There's only Rich not done now. Good evening, Hong. How are you, mate? Good hello, Chatley. Good evening, Sean. JOR photographer. We signed Isco yet? Are we still doing Isco? Are we still doing Isco?
I'm still on my day. He was the Isco of my generation.
Nick Gates, thank you so much for that very generous £10, mate. Hi, Martin. Looking forward to the rebuild and seeing what we can do so far. And the transfer window going for young, hungry players is just what we need. It is. It is. But thank you, Lee, for your generosity. My apologies, I didn't respond back to your DM. We did do a space. It ended up about 1:30, 1 in the morning. But it was good. Well, the first hour was like anger. Everyone was very angry for the first hour. I don't know why. I had Alan arguing with everyone in the space because he was doing his Rule Britannia 11 again. It was, it was fun. Good evening, Martin. Hope you're well. Why is Alan looking? Whoa. What's up with Alan?
His internet has gone crazy, hasn't it?
He's just gone all Bobby Davro.
Which pixel is he?
Alan, talk for me.
I don't even think he can hear us.
Is he on that dial-up?
Maybe he's excited that Trafford is being linked to City now. So
that's why we got him on. I wanted to talk to him. Now we've actually got the Trafford links. I wanted to talk to him about it. He'll come back. Don't worry. We'll sort him out. Alan, 10p in the meter. Okay. Looking forward to the show as ever. Harry Briggs, mate. Yeah. Do as you told, Jack. There's a good lad. Staffy Dave, good evening. SOS, good evening. Pardo Oaks, good evening. Marshy Boy, hello. Matteo, hello. Loads of you in tonight. It's amazing to see. Thank you. 180 of you already. What a comment. DC, the gang's all here. What a panel. Denton, Dixon, as always, is here. Cade's here. Does Alan know the Trafford news? I don't think his internet is going to allow him to talk. Oh, hang on. No, we've got movement out of him. Alan, shut down. Someone just...
Reboot.
This could be fun. StreamYard's been having issues all day. You need to log off and reboot back in if you can hear me, Alan. You
get off that.
Yes,
get off. Get
you.
off that. Get off that website. It's affecting your connection.
Told you, Alan, about these dirty websites. Stop it, lad.
Hello.
Hey, we've got
Yeah,
him.
we can hear you. We can hear you now.
Alan, stop going on these dirty websites. It's affecting your internet. Oh, Indy's gone. Hello, Jarvis. Dudley, good evening. Jay Fresh, big up, mate. How are you doing? Even though you called me out earlier. Indrel, how are you, mate? Trouble Father is back. Hello. Yeah, say hello to each other in the chat as well. The Judge, big up from Whitefield. Oh, and Alan's gone. Alan loves a bit of Whitefield. Patrick already slouched in his chair. Alan hasn't even spoke. Oh. Posture, Pat. Posture. Right. Can I call you Pat? And am I all right calling you Patrick?
Yeah, Patrick can have the extra syllable. You can have the extra syllable, Patrick. That's fine.
Yeah, okay, grand. Thank you.
Ooh, to Johnny Reinders. Right, can you hear us now, Alan?
Yes, I can.
Lovely. We will come to the James Trafford story, Alan. Don't worry. It's the reason we've got you on. Good evening. Now that Morgan Gibbs White is off, can we put another 120 and get Pedra? No, stop Pedra.
Is he still asking about Pedri?
He's doing it now as a joke.
Still dreaming.
Hi, lads. Liverpool fan here. Let's get those good old title races on. F Arsenal, even Zubba does not want to come. Yeah, Arsenal fans are in meltdown. This City pool is back next year. I don't know where Arsenal are going next year. They're going out the world. Faye, good evening. Can't wait to see you on Thursday. Hope you are well and the move's going well. Jerry, hello. Sup Blues been saying Trafford for months. Spinks, well, Trafford only comes if somebody leaves. It said potential interest. Yes. That's quite right. Who's doing the transfer business? Everyone, Cade. Chica, Biana, and Pep. All of them. Abdallah with the 2,199. Cheers, mate. Big up, Martin. Special shout out to the Don Allen. We will get you on. I need to get you on as well, Abdallah, at some point. Doing the sign language well. Denton,
Go on, the dogs are out. Go on.
thank you for the gifted one. Denton, If whoever's got that, please say a massive thank you to Denton for the kind generosity. How's Captain? How you doing, mate? Universal Sign Language. How's Patrick doing now? Patrick, how you doing?
Me?
Yes.
Two Patrick.
Me not well today, but anyway, I'm going slow by slow.
There you go. Have I heard about Inter? Yes, Inzaghi is going to Saudi Pro League. Yes, we know. I don't think Judge Mo's very happy though. Alan, is your bath towel dry yet?
It's been there for a while, hasn't it?
Oh, I've just noticed that. Oh, I went blurry then. Why have you got a bath towel in the background?
Actually, not a bath towel. It's a mat for standing on when you come out of the shower. And I tend to put.
Shouldn't that be in the bathroom?
It should, but I've got two of the same colour. So I wash it. I wash it, and then I put it out
That's
to
his
dry.
afternoon one.
It's for the spare bathroom upstairs.
Is that your guest one?
As Patrick knows, there's a spare bedroom around that corner.
Foggy, you didn't need to do that, mate. Mate, your generosity. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Foggy, I'm going to email you because I've got something I want to. I did buy you something that I do want to give you live. So let me know. I don't know if you got to the cup final, but let me know. We are also, at the end of the week, we're going to give away an FA Cup final programme free, which we'll send out. And Patrick is going to get a very, very special gift on Thursday, which will cheer him up, no doubt. From the
Is that the stripper? Is that the stripper you're sending?
No, I'm not sending you a stripper. Oh, Jesus. Dash, have a word. Yeah, me and Dash have organised something, more Dash than me, but we've organised a signed City shirt from Kyle Walker. That has a very special message on that will go out this week to Patrick, and he can't wait. He's going to display it. So it means you're going to have to do a public thank you to Kyle Walker now, Patrick.
I have nothing against Kyle Walker.
Oh, yeah, right.
I have nothing against Kyle Walker. I think,
anyway, let's get into it. But I know loads of members. Conway, thank you, mate. You're very generous 2 year as well. Happy 2 year anniversary, mate. From day one, you are amazing. Thank you, Conway. But let's get into it. Tijani Reinders. Looks like we're going to get the here we go. We're at the here we're near. We're at the near. We're at the near we go. We're not quite here we go. We're at the near we go. Apparently it's all done. All fees agreed. It's just the last little bits. But Tijani Reinders looks like to be the first one in the door. How we all feeling? And we can go, and you can all jump in. You know, by the way, it's a panel show, so jump in whenever you want, as long as you're respectable.
Well, it's exactly what City have been severely lacking in midfield last season. Goals, mainly. Yeah.
Well, we'll see, won't we?
Yeah. Goals. I think he adds. He adds leadership. And of course, he's got the passing range as well. And I think he's got everything. I think I watched him a lot from Milan last season, and I think the one game in particular that I felt that was the standout for me that I was convinced about Reinders is probably the one against Real Madrid away. Scored the goal there as well in the 3-1 win, but I thought his excellent all-round play against Madrid was phenomenal. Scored the Bernabeu away to win there, and I thought, yeah, they did very well. I thought, from there, I thought, you know what, I'm going to keep an eye on this guy. And then when we got linked with him, I thought, now we got it over the line now. So now I'm excited about seeing Reinders shine at City. I think Christmas time is going to be very, very good, especially with his surname going around.
There's only me and you going to know about that, Hong. These other people won't have a clue about that.
You're singing the Christmas songs. I saw you earlier on singing Christmas songs with Dabs. I already heard that.
Yeah. Alan's mates with Santa Claus.
I don't know. We'll think of someone.
No, but he's going to be a good signing. And you know what? A lot of people are getting impatient this morning. I think I woke up this morning and saw Twitter full of people saying, why is this not happening? I don't get people, Martin, you said it very well on that show that I think people don't understand that when there's a negotiation, you have to negotiate the type of money you're going to pay in certain installments, or you have to pay it in a certain way. And then you have to talk about agent fees. So big up to Man City. As the chairman promised, most of these signings will be done before the Club World Cup. Most of the players have to be registered before the 10th of June. So Reinders is first through the door. The only one I'm excited about is Nori, and I hope we get him. And after,
did you say the only one you're excited for?
I just want to see that guy in our team. I've wanted to always see him in this team since we were linked with him years ago when he was young. So I'm excited. I know everybody's after Cherki, but for me, it's Nori. I'm excited.
You've seen what Dash has put. We tried to get you a Jack Grealish sign one, but we couldn't get it. Seeing as we knew how big of a Jack Grealish fan you were.
Wait. Were you purposely going to the team and just looking for players that I have spoken about? Maybe like let's go for players.
No, we weren't. I promise.
That would be cruel though.
It was whoever Dash. It was me and Dash were having a chat for weeks. We wanted to do something because of everything you're going through at the moment, and we just wanted to show a little bit of love and a bit of a thank you for everything that you do, Patrick.
How did you land on the Walker one? Just out of interest.
I'm not announcing this live in the middle of a panel. Where we get the stuff from?
You're becoming one of the big people out there, Mark.
Don't you start this? No, don't.
Your watch. I don't know if your partner knows about your watch that you're connected.
Oh, you mean the ITK watch?
Yeah, ITK watch. That's getting messages when you're on streams with people, and then you're giving us information. Yeah, so I'm trying to see what
you had a choice. You had a choice of right backs, Patrick. It was either Kyle Walker or Mateus Nunes. We know where the Nunes shirt's going.
The Nunes shirt's going to Alan. I am getting Alan and Mateus Nunes signed shirt.
Please do.
We're sorting that out.
I'll gladly film it outside my house with lighter fluid all over it and setting it alight.
You are such a scouser, Alan. You really are such a scouser.
He's already tweeted that out today. Rick. Not doing it. No.
Who's the scouts forward now, Alan?
One thing I will say on Tajani Rand is I didn't actually, because I've been so busy, I've not looked at his stats. But Hon's quite right here, Alan. 37 appearances in Serie A, 10 goals, 5 assists. In the Champions League last season, out of 10 games, he played all 10. He got 3 goals. He played 2 times in the Supercoppa Italiano, and he got 5 appearances in the Italian Cup and 2 goals. So overall, he's got 10, 13, 15 goals and 5 assists. Not bad for someone who's played a number 8, a number 6, and sort of he's played everywhere. He's even played attacking midfield for AC Milan at times this season. So he looks like a bit of a versatile midfielder, Alan.
Yeah. No, man, we like a slightly deeper line midfielder that likes to have a bit of a pop. I mean, how many times do we see Rodri step up with the occasional goal from the 18-yard box? Kovacic had about half a dozen of them this season. So if that means it's going to be another avenue in how we score goals and that, then I'm all for it. You know, if it means that, you know, if the goals aren't coming from Haaland in a game, but yet they come from all our midfielders, then I'm fine with that. I'd like the goal distribution to be spread out a bit more evenly, to be honest. And you know, if we can have a midfield that can you know pop up with 10 to 15 goals per season, each of them over in all competitions, then that's going to be a huge addition to, or going to go greatly towards any success next season. So. Yeah, I'm all for it. I'm really excited about the signings.
Yeah, Andrew, as Nabil.
Bang on. I was going to say, Martin, I was going to mention to you, out of all the midfielders in the top 5 league, Tajani Rangers tops the goal scoring charts for a midfielder with 15 goals, and no other midfielder in the top 5 league has scored more goals than him.
Oh yeah,
well, as it's put a down on it, boys, but as it stands right now, we haven't signed anybody.
Alan, right, I know you're the person who likes the shirt and the scarf in the hand. I get it.
Yes, I do.
Well,
yes, I do.
Alan, he's going. All 3 will be City players.
Holding the shirt. He doesn't believe it until he sees a photo of him having a pint at the White Horse.
Well, there we go. Well, hope he was sure. That's spot on.
No, I fucking believe it. Don't be a tram driver.
By the way, you don't start calling Cherki and Ain't Nori and Reinders tram drivers or crane drivers or everything else you're going to call them. Don't start me doing that. Go on, Rich. Blue Out says you're being miserable tonight.
No, I'm quietly content. I think I think we're gonna have to be careful. I think we're gonna have to be careful not to expect the same output from Reinders, because I've seen quite a few of his goals, and some of them were him running into the positions that Haaland would be in, and they have been a lot from open play. So in that sense, I think it's going to be very different at City. He's going to have to fashion his goals with 10 defenders between him and the goal, judging by last season. So, but the fact he can finish and the fact he can make those runs, if he can do that, when Haaland goes to the back post, go to the near post and actually get in those positions, that'll be very important for City, because we've, the amount of times last season where I've seen Docky get the blame because no strikers have actually made it into the box and no midfielders have had the legs to run. The amount of time we've got past defence on the flanks and done nothing, having that energy, I think, and that ability to get there is going to be the most important thing. And above anything, I think we need legs, we need pace, we need intensity, because it was said after the FA Cup that the Palace manager, they knew they could beat City because they knew on all the statistics they could press further, run faster than we could, and ultimately we've got to get in that position. And if we can get Ait Nouri, if Livramento's the right back, I think that's more defensive signing.
Sorry to interrupt you, Rich, but that's the first name you said correctly in ages.
What, Doku? How do you pronounce it?
You normally go Rico, or you were
Rico.
You were calling somebody else earlier.
Rico. Yeah. I often call myself Rico. I know, it's my name.
Probably goes by the name Purple Panel.
He showed 3 iPhone mistakes.
Yeah. Everyone knows that all the connections into the club go through Alan's long and deep friendship with Peter Swales and all his, connections to the family and still at the club. So everyone knows that.
Good evening, Alternative. By the way,
while we're on the subject, I just want to interrupt while Richard was speaking there. I will see you at MCG, Adelaide, Brisbane, and Sydney for the test matches. So,
cricket. Yeah, we haven't mentioned cricket yet today. Good point. Yeah, good point.
Oh dear. Right, Foggy has doubled down and gifted 10 channel memberships. Please say a massive thank you if you have got one. Foggy, mate, I know you support everyone and it's amazing, but your support on here is outstanding. It's every show, every time, and it's out of this world. Thank you so much, Mark. I appreciate it so much. It really is from everyone. Thank you. Make sure W's, everyone say thank you. Bilal, for the 199, can I clap your cheeks? Alan, he wants to clap your cheeks. I don't think he meant that. Lee Johnson, I'm your sugar daddy. Listen, if people pay $1.99 for saying silly stuff, who am I? Who are we to complain?
It's all right. Alan does silly stuff for free.
Yes.
No, anyway. No, Martin, I know that fella. That fella, this is his thing.
Oh, no, you don't know him that well, obviously. But
no. I mean, like through the chats, because I was on Never a Foul, and he was also writing some filth towards the panel. So I think that's his thing. That's his.
Oh, right.
Memo. Yeah, that's his thing. Yeah.
I mean, evening, Mark. How are you, mate? Yeah, my family had a lovely time. Yeah, it was a well-earned break, and it will all begin again in 6 weeks when I'm off to Turkey. I'm not having my teeth done. I'm not
You're going away again? You're going away again?
Yeah, this is the main family holiday for 2 weeks.
It's the money, Alan. He's making that ITK money.
I'll tell you why.
The ITK money.
My daughter got engaged while we were in Tenerife. It was all pre-planned.
Oh, congratulations.
About it. And me and my partner, we wrote it all. We were helping her now fiance, my future son-in-law, with writing it all out on the beach. I've got a video of it. It was very emotional. I cried. He even asked for my permission as well, which was very nice of him. So,
Is he an Oldham fan? Is he an Oldham fan?
No, he's a Red.
Oh no! Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh no!
So if they end up having children, there's going to be an argument.
Oh fucking hell! Oh no! Oh no! Oh Martin, you poor sod.
Andrew, as a prime man, wouldn't block you, Alan.
Yes, he has.
Right. Obviously, there ain't just Rangers. Obviously, there's Ryan Cherki. Now, Alan, I know you had a meltdown today because, and you probably not read Ornstein afterwards, because there was a report that Arne Slot had gone out to France to have a chat with Cherki's reps. That was true. But that was before, and Ornstein has confirmed this, that was before all the Bert stuff got going. They weren't after Cherki, and then it changed to Florian Wirtz. And now Cherki has only got eyes for one club. Yes, it is taking a bit longer, but it's not to do, it's his payment structure what is slowing it a little bit. Payment structure. Not payment.
Come on, City, get on with the bloody thing. Stop pissing around then.
Well, maybe, hang on a minute. If Leon wants 30 million in one go and we're saying, no, we're paying in 2 installments, it takes a bit of time.
God's sake.
All right, then. So you go and buy a car. I want a 90 grand car. Can you pay it all in one go? No, I'd rather do it on over 5 years. Well, let's sit down and negotiate. You don't get the car that day, Alan.
No, you will. Yeah. Just drive around saying, this is shit.
In the UK, you don't get the car that day. I had to wait 4 months for my car.
You don't go rob it round Prestwich.
I mean, wow. So yes, it will get done. Everyone's just got to calm. As Patrick said earlier on, everyone's flying round ceilings because we've not signed them. They're going to get done. There are lawyers involved, agents involved. I'm going to turn it off for a minute because I can't even see Rich's face.
This is just Tuesday, by the way. Just Tuesday.
Yeah, the window's only been open 2 days. And you can't include Sunday, like Dap said, because that was, no banks are open on a Sunday.
but the phones work on a Sunday, Martin, according to the City fans.
No, the phones do.
No, they just don't want to pay their staff double time.
So, yeah. I mean, Alan, why are you panicking? Why are you panicking on Cherki?
Well, I just don't want Liverpool having anyone. I hate them.
Okay, right.
So,
right. Jeez.
Martin, why are you even engaging in Alan panicking or being grumpy about something? I mean, have you ever known a signing where he hasn't panicked and been grumpy about it?
Wait, I have a question for Alan. Alan, let me ask you, Alan, are you, because before I've been watching this show, every time when you're on this show, you call Nunes a panic buy, then you call a few players that they're not good enough. So can I ask you a question, right? The fact that we did not get Wirtz, do you think Cherki is a panic buy then?
No, I don't think he was. But if Liverpool get the pair of them, it proves that our negotiation skills are shit.
They won't get the pair of them.
They're not going to get both of them, though, are they?
They don't want both of them.
Because Cherki can either play number 10 or play right wing. Right wing is more Salah. Number 10 is going to be between Cherki and Wirtz. So that's impossible to sell it to any of them. One of them is going to say no.
Well, hopefully we're right.
Everyone's telling me to get rid of my son-in-law. My future son-in-law. Distance myself. Cancel now, Martin. Condolences.
Yeah, just in time for the Club World Cup. Patrick in Australia. Are you going to the Club World Cup by any chance?
If I get a favourable schedule, I might try and pop over for a game or two. I actually head off to Manchester to go see Oasis a week before the show, which happens to be the same weekend as the final. So there is a possibility I might be at the final, but saying that, it doesn't mean that I'll go to the game, especially when I recently saw that The cheapest tickets still going for the final were at $892 US.
Wow.
So I can't. The best one in the world, I can't justify paying that much. Well, $892 when I could probably take, $250 into the Amity Hall and go watch it with the Sky Blues and actually just have a better time.
The cheapest.
That's what I saw. The cheapest was $892.
Wow.
Yanks.
I tell you, Infantino's done a job on this, hasn't he?
Yep.
Jesus.
It's $892. I'm not like tooting my own horn, but $892 US, I could easily fly around the world on my staff travel for less than that.
How much is that UK wise? $892.
Is that it's US is a little bit more, isn't it?
I think that's like £780, something like that, Martin.
Oh.
Wow.
That's a lot of money.
More than my season
780 quid, Martin. What section of the ground would that get you a season ticket in?
Colin Bell level 1.
Bloody hell.
Virtually. I mean, not probably level 1. Wouldn't get you Tunnel Club, but it'd get you, probably. Nick's in the chat. That'd get you Colin Bell level 1, surely.
892. Or Hung, it's a little bit less. It's 660. But that'll still get you some damn good seats in the Etihad for a season.
But I'm guessing that's got to be a nosebleed seat by any chance. That has to be.
Oh,
right.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Would it get
100%.
you behind the goal, BB? Well, I thought maybe it's me. Maybe it's because I'm old Bolistons are empty, but sadly it won't be. No. East level 1 cost me $1,000. All right, so no. No, there you go. 128 Colin Bell. I suppose low. Yeah, it is lower tier. You're on lower tier.
Yeah. And that's really sort of detracted me away from like wanting to go to the World Cup in 2026. Because if you're going to be having ticket prices like that for a group stage match that Australia play, then I can't justify that. I can't. I would gladly save up for an extra 4 years and go to the World Cup in Spain, Morocco, Portugal, because at least even if for some reason it ends up being as expensive as the States, those three countries are going to put on a show. Yeah, I think that'll be a better experience.
Patrick, forget their price for the ticket. It's when you've paid 25 Aussie dollars for a beer and $10 for your morning coffee that you're going to be. I mean, America is. I mean, apart from the fact it's on its knees, it's so expensive at the minute. It's just
it's unreal.
Criminal.
I'm just going to do these very quick super chats. Then I want to ask Patrick, True City Man, a quick question on Cherki. Kumar Yashawish. Go on, Pat. Help me with the pronunciation.
Yashaswi.
The reason is I don't like saying people's names wrong. I find it rude. So I want to make sure I say my name correctly. But thank you so much, Kumar. So happy for King Collie winning the IPL. Mark B has gifted 10 channel memberships. Thank you so much. Miami has gifted 10. You lot are up. Wow. The generosity tonight. Thank you so much. That's 30 gifted memberships. Plus Conway's renewed. Then 31, sorry. Plus Abdallah's done his $1.99. Lee Gates on the $1.99. Foggy on the £10. Lee Gates on the £10. And Kumar has then doubled down with another amazing super chat. Alan and Rich, Ashes will be Aussies this year. Smith's last Ashes and England without Jimmy and Broad. And Ball's ball will not work down under.
Yeah, Kumar obviously hasn't watched Jimmy and Broad bowl in Australia because Jimmy and Broad, apart from 2011, were most of our problem because the conditions not suited to them. We've got bowlers far better placed for Australia.
I really do appreciate the super chats, but I really don't want to talk cricket. I'd rather put my eyes out with like really hot pokers.
Don't worry, Martin. When the
Pat on the show. Pat on the show tonight.
Me and Rich have
Blues down under. We'll
Blues down under. We'll
put the pads and the protector on, and we'll look at things in a different way.
One thing I will say: big up to Melbourne City on winning the Australian Championship, which I'm sure Pat and Alan, Nick, and Rich will go through tomorrow. That's if Nick's still not playing football.
I've told him the grand final's already over.
Patrick,
You don't need to keep running around the ground.
I want to get your opinion on Ryan Cherki because you said ain't known is the one you're excited about. But Cherki's 21 years old. I've done some research now because I openly hold my hands up. You know, I'm not one of these who lies. I hold my hands up. I was very, very umming and ahhing on Cherki. Didn't know a lot about him. Hadn't watched a lot of him. I really hadn't. I was a little bit, you know, I didn't think we'd get Verts, but I was like, not sure on this Ryan Cherki. Why is no one touching him? Why is no one bidded for him? And then I've looked at his stats, seen some actual highlights, still not watched games. 21 years old, Pat. He's done 30 appearances in League 1, 8 goals, 11 assists. He can play attacking midfield in a 10, right wing, left wing, and even in a false 9 position. So, where are you at with Cherki? Are you excited for this one, Patrick?
No, it's a great signing. Like I am excited. The only reason why I'm excited because of Nori, as I said, I've been following him for a long time, and always ask myself that why didn't City go back for him? Why can't we not get this guy? Because I think Nori would be close to Hakimi. That's what I see anyway. But Cherki is a baller, and for the research I've done myself also, Martin. First of all, I did the research in the attitude. Found the attitude thing was just a lie. People were just pinning that attitude on him. But if you talk about football, like proper class, somebody who's willing to become top class, as he said in the interview, he said, I want to become one of the best players. This guy is the real deal. And it's quite strange. Yeah, people think that nobody went after him. No, they did. PSG tried to go after him before they went to Napoli. He refused. He stayed with Lyon. And then Dortmund tried to go after him. And he also said he didn't want to move yet. So it's not like people haven't gone after him. Dortmund, even as we speak right now, where City are speaking with Cherki, Dortmund apparently are still waiting in the wings that if anything falls, they go in. Apparently, Dortmund, they went it the wrong way, according to somebody who watches the French league and obviously is close to Lyon. Said Dortmund wanted to go with the bully aspect, where there's a release clause, we're just gonna pay that, and we're not gonna negotiate with Lyon. Then Lyon said, there's no risk, it's a gentleman's agreement. So anyway, I am happy because if you look at the Man City team, right, you look at Foden. Foden is very good in half spaces, but when he gets the ball, Foden's first idea most times is to dribble and get into the box and score. Once in a while, Foden will pass the ball. But Cherki, he was the top assister last season, and also he was the top dribbler. And if you've watched most of the games when Cherki is playing, even when a team packs the bus, Cherki is able to dribble past the people in the box and still find the pass. That's something that Man City have been starving of since Riyad Mahrez left. And for the fact that you said, it's not only the fact that he can play as a number 10, you can also play him as a right winger. And again, everybody, when Cherki came
another one.
Yeah. So he can also play as a right winger. So it's a very good move. I think it's a no-brainer. And you know what? People were saying this guy doesn't track back, but go watch him against United when he was going back all the way to carry the ball, going back, man marking, what's his name? Bruno, carrying the ball and then progressing with the ball, and the guy is press resistant. I said I am happy about Nori, but Cherki is also exciting me, to be honest. And for the fact that we're getting him for 40 million max or 30 maybe, even after City negotiate, you might find out it's 27 million with add-ons, and that's incredible. We could have wasted 150 on Verts, and we're getting somebody who might even be better than Verts when that done. I'm happy, and he's just 21 years old. Yes, Alan, another one who can play right wing, and you will see him at right wing. Trust me, you will see him. Because even in
I think every player we bought in the last 3 years can play right wing.
Yeah, but isn't that what Pep is after?
It's called versatility, Alan.
Yeah. Since when have you all of a sudden started having a problem with things on the right wing?
I think Bernardo Silva scarred him.
Yeah, it all depends. I mean, and as well, it all depends. You know, if we get Ait-Nouri and who we get right back, how we play as well. Because a right winger, if they've got a fullback constantly overlapping them, is going to be more about playing inside, aren't they? So it's going to be more. Your wingers are going to be more Marmoush types or David Villa types who are playing out wide. But it depends on the fullbacks.
Wasn't KDB playing as a winger? Sorry, Martin. Wasn't KDB also playing as a winger under Pellegrini? I remember
it was
KDB
towards
playing.
the end. Yeah, we didn't really have a 10. It was more. It was more. There were Mamouche, KDB were kind of floating across from right, middle to left. KDB was going into the left, then Mamouche. They were, if you watch, they were floating all over the three of them. That's what. Now, this is where the Pep Linders thing is intriguing with. Because I know Pep Linders, now, the one thing I will say, this BS that I've heard in the last few days, that Pep Linders is going to put Pep in his place and Pep's going to be bowing down to Pep Linders. There is one boss. His name is Pep Guardiola, not Pep Linders. Pep Linders, Nobbin said it earlier, you very rarely hear about an assistant manager. Some don't even know the names of assistant managers. And we're talking like Pep Linders is going to bend Pep over and spank him if he does out wrong here. There is one boss. He will ask him for advice. He will challenge him. But he's not going to dictate the formation and tell him how to play and pick the 11s out. I don't know where this Pep Linders is suddenly... It's like role reversion lately. Pep Guardiola's become the assistant. But what I'm saying, Pep Linders does like to play an attacking front three. So I wouldn't be surprised, if you saw a Mamouche, Cherki, Haaland front three.
Do you think we'll start playing long ball like Liverpool?
Well, what if you've got Nori coming down the left, and we'll get into Libamento in a bit? I think that will be very hard to do before all Newcastle fans will come and attack and wage war on me, because apparently if you go anywhere near one of their players, even mention one of their players, they come down and you're like a ton of bricks. Like, how dare you? How dare you want to buy one of our players? Take it as a compliment. Well, you don't know why they're getting all uppity about it. Jesus. So, yeah.
Alan, it's going to be like the days of Harry Bassett next season, City.
Big up, Ed, for the 17th, mate. You are a legend, sir. Thank you for your continued support. Alan,
yes,
if I said to you, Mamouche left, Cherki right, Haaland in the middle, Nori on the overlap, Reinders behind with Rodri and maybe a Phil Foden, well, where are you at with all that?
I'm okay. It's hard to say because I'll be honest with you, I've not seen much of Cherki to justify if he's any good or not.
You're more of a beef man.
Well, yeah. Mamouche is a good player. He's certainly better than Doku. Jesus Christ.
Don't start your Doku debate on here.
Mate, it's not a debate. It's an absolute fact. It's a headless chicken. So there's no debate about it. It's a headless chicken.
Wait a minute. It's you who started this term, isn't it, Alan? It's you. I found you, finally. I was wondering that...
I was the line out and we got the bite.
No. I was wondering. I was like, where has this headless chickens term come from? It's you. You're the president. I found you finally.
Truth is, though, Alan, we probably wouldn't have got in the Champions League without Doku's, coming on in the last 10 games and helping us change games and getting us on top. So he's a headless chicken who got us in the Champions League.
He also won us the game against. Do you remember Reggie Bonmart? They passed to Nunes.
Yeah. So I think he's been critical. The problem is that he's been at his best when coming on after about 65 minutes. Yeah. He's been more effective doing that than starting. So it's a brilliant weapon for City, but how long? Well, how long would he put up with that if he doesn't improve enough to be really dominate from the start? And it's hard to see Doku playing on the left with Nuri. Together, whenever we've tried playing, used to happen with, Cancelo playing left back with Grealish. They just run into each other. So, if we play a really attacking left back, Mamouche, it works perfectly. Doku, it's going to be problematic. So is he then going to go onto the right if we have more defensive right back? Or are we going to have 17 right wingers, as Alan says, all competing? So I think Doku's, is a great weapon to have. But if we get Nori, it's hard to see how he can play from the start in the way he wants to play on the left.
Well, I think he'll just replace. What you're going to do is swap O'Reilly out for Nora, and Gabardia will continue in the middle.
I think
O'Reilly where I'm saying, Rich, I don't think Doku's going to start games right now.
Well, not with Nori playing.
No.
Here's a question for you. If we get the left fullback in, do you think O'Reilly's going to start? Yeah, well, whatever, right? Do you think O'Reilly's going to get games in midfield?
No.
I
think he's going to struggle.
Where's he going to play?
I think Rico's going to struggle.
I think O'Reilly might end up going on loan. I mean, I think, the unfortunate thing is he showed.
No, I hope I'm wrong.
He's very one-footed, and he's got to go and work on that. I think to be able to play further up the pitch.
You didn't mind doing that, isn't it? Like I was thinking today, even though we're crying over Oscar Bob, Nico Lewis and O'Reilly, I was thinking for a minute that, look, if you send them on loan, obviously I don't want to send them on loan in other countries. I want them to stay in the Prem. So if the Premier League teams maybe at the bottom, want them, I was like, don't send them. Or even Lewis, I was like, I'd rather him strengthen himself in the Prem. Don't start sending them to the Championship or sending them elsewhere. Nico O'Reilly, I think, can start for most of the clubs in the Premier League as a midfielder.
Do you know what we've got to be careful of? And I will say this is I do hear people's worry on an Oscar Bob, an Echeverri, a Rico Lewis, an O'Reilly. Because if you're bringing in, because don't forget, for our midfield options, you're going to have Reinders, Rodra. Kovacic isn't going anywhere because he's just had the Achilles operation. Phil Foden, Ryan Cherki, Bernardo Silva. Because I don't think Bernardo goes anywhere. Where's O'Reilly getting into that? Where's Echeverri getting into that? And where's Oscar Bob? Now, Oscar Bob may be different because he can be used as a winger. But where? Because I'll be honest with you, I don't want to use Rico as a fullback.
No, it's not good enough.
And I don't mean that in an offensive way. I think Rico needs to play in his position as midfield, as we said with Daps earlier. I don't want to see him as a fullback. If you're going to use him as a fullback, I don't think he's got a future at centre. Sadly.
We've got Nico Gonzalez as well.
Oh, and I forgot Nico G as well. And I don't think we're finished by, and if they say they go back for Gibbs White at some point, they may not. But this is the point. Right now, we are overloaded, which is great. I think it's brilliant. But this is where the youngsters will now suffer a little bit, sadly. I know it's sad, but this is why I've said you want to make Reinders and all them are not coming in sit on a bench.
They're not. Cherki is not coming to sit on the bench.
Yeah. By the way, great point by Eddie. This is what Eden Hazard has said on Ryan Cherki on his dribbling. When you pay your ticket, the people are entertained when he plays left foot, right foot, and everything he's done with a purpose. It's so perfect. There you go. And on the feeling good factor, Mark, big up yourself, mate. 10 gifted channel memberships, 40 new gifted memberships tonight. You guys are on fire. Thank you so much for your kind generosity. That is outstanding. Thank you. So, yeah, I mean, that's the question. It's brilliant bringing these players in, but Hong, where do you put an O'Reilly, a Bob, a Rico Lewis in this? Even an Echeverri?
That's a very good question, Martin. I think that's why, remember Pep saying to the hierarchy that he doesn't want a bigger, he doesn't want
big squad. This is why.
He doesn't want a bigger squad. Remember, he doesn't like the fact he has to leave players at home. So that's a job for the hierarchy to figure out. I mean, you know what I mean? I want to give credit to Hugo Viana. Well, not on the playing squad just yet. More like on the coaching staff when he realized what's going on. And think of it this way, like, he saw, I'm not being disrespectful, like Juan Malilo, Inigo Dominguez, and Carlos Vistens. Like, obviously, there had to be a refresh in that department. So Hugo Viana obviously had to let them go. and to bring in Linders with a possibility of Kolo Toure joining the squad and Diamante as well from Melbourne City. So there could be, these guys will obviously help Pep, push Pep, and make him find solutions even the great Pep Guardiola can't see himself. And that's the most one. But in terms of the play, I think a lot does depend on the outgoings. I do believe there'll be players leaving in the summer, and that's up for the hierarchy to decide, who has to be shown the door. Sadly, because I don't think, like I said, I think Grealish will go. Sadly, I think he will. Because I think him leaving, getting left out of the squad in the final game of the season, I think it just is telling as well. And obviously, listen, I feel like I don't think Grealish has it in here to succeed at the very top. And I think there's a difference. Like, ability alone is not going to get you to the top. And if that was the case, then we would be seeing like players like I don't want to mention like this. If we would be seeing like the likes of Jadon Sancho. Or Ben Arthur or Gerrard and all that.
In that circumstance, mate.
Yeah.
Are you happy to pay Jack Grealish 150 grand a week for the next 2 years to whatever club he goes to? I'd hate for him to be in the Premier League and we're paying half his wages, because that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, well, because the thing is, because I'm just thinking realistically, where would Jack Grealish go? Because next season, because it's World Cup year next year, and he wants to go to the World Cup.
That's what I'm thinking with Doku, by the way.
Yeah, think about with the World Cup going next year, because Thomas Tuchel, has already warned Grealish, if you're not going to play, I'm not going to select you for the squad. So that has to come to fruition. So that's obviously got to play into Jack Grealish's mind where he's going to go next season. So so that, and obviously I feel
Hong, sorry for cutting you, but doesn't that go for every, because Martin has said this and warned a lot of us about these players, especially with the World Cup. I'm pretty sure it's not only Jack Grealish, it's not only Doku. We're talking about Savio too. So we're talking about Oscar Bob too, who plays for the first Norway team. So every player in this team wants minutes. How are these minutes going to be shared if the big ballers are coming in?
Well, just for Hung answers, I think you look at mine's a great comment, by the way. Don't forget, Nori and Mamouche will leave in January for the AFCON.
Yeah, that's actually
there is an AFCON. There is an AFCON this season, yeah.
Yeah,
is there?
Yeah,
no, I'm not
2025.
Sure.
Well, I think it's
in
anyway.
January 2026. Yeah, so that means
What agendas have I got, Chroma Base? What agendas have I got?
Wait a minute. Wait. So you're
according to this, the AFCON is from the 21st of December to the 21st of December until the final on the 18th of January.
So basically, other players will see an opportunity, saying Mamouche and Magnolia going.
Yeah. Well, look at that. That's got to play into fruition as well. So
yeah, but still, you still want to play. So, Hong, go ahead. What do you think? All these players, how are we going to share minutes?
Yeah, I think of course, it's going to have to be a point where it's going to have to fight. It's going to have to be a real fight. But I do believe it's going to have to start with outgoings as well. But obviously, that's going to be a bit of a difficult job for the hierarchy to go to do in the summer. Especially, of course, it's great getting. Don't get me wrong. It's something we've got in there with Tajani Reinders coming in, Ryan Nouri and Ryan Cherki coming in. That means some of these players have to go out as well. Of course, not only World Cup. So players have got to think about. The current players got to think about, okay, if I don't get minutes, if I don't play in the team, I might not go to the World Cup. So that could definitely play a part. And they may want to, it could be a part where they may have to force themselves out the door, especially with the World Cup coming up next year.
Yeah. Listen, we're only giving opinions. We're not always going to agree, and that's fine. But we're giving opinions.
Oh, but Martin, I have a question, though. On Oscar Bob, though. Oscar Bob, I think he's so good and rated by the Norway team. Even if he plays less minutes, he's still good. Right now. Yeah, he's still been called up. So Oscar Bob might be an exception because he's still called up to the team.
The reason I ask is because I hear this a lot. Everyone goes rotation. We're not going to rotate everyone. Rodri's not going to get rotated as much as everyone thinks he's going to be. Haaland, if he's fit, is generally going to play. You go through Liverpool, you go through if Saka's fit at Arsenal, he plays. If Rodri's 100% fit at City, he's generally going to play. So I know everyone's got this fancy idea that we'll rotate around, but then that's when you get, we haven't got a consistent back four. How can we have we haven't got
Martin, although it hasn't been massive, we've constantly shown through all our successful seasons we've rotated far more than Liverpool or Arsenal ever have.
We have.
And although it's been between 17 or 18 players, it hasn't been between 25.
And we've also lost him.
We've always rotated.
But we've lost more players than them. There's a reason Sterling, Mahrez, Alvarez, Palmer all walked out the club.
There is. And there's a reason we won 4 titles.
No. I agree. Yeah. I'm just saying, people have got this idea that players are happy on rotation. They're not. They're not happy on rotation. Sterling,
they are. If they're playing the big games, they're happy.
Alvarez played over 3,000 minutes, Rich. Sterling played over 3,000 minutes.
Alvarez just wanted the weather, though. They
didn't play all the biggest games.
Just decided to leave because Zinchenko was played ahead of him in a match against PSG.
Yeah, if you play all the big games, then you'll be happy to rotate. If you're playing the little games, then you're not going to be happy to rotate. But I think I think we just need to chill on it a bit, because we've just come from a season where half our squad's been injured and everyone's been in meltdown about how our squad's too tiny, and then now we're signing a few players. Everyone's in meltdown that we're going to be. We could have 8 injuries. We could have 8 injuries by November, and we could be still thinking, crap, we've only got a squad of 22. It's too small. And if the injuries happen in the wrong place, so I think we got it wrong in not having enough last season. We could go slightly too far the other way, but honestly, I'd rather have a grumpy player on the bench than be having to play Matías Núñez centre-back because we've got no one left in the squad. So I think we've got to take a risk slightly on the high side. And honestly, that's better than what happened in 2020 and 2025 when we just got left with no one and, our seasons collapsed because of it. And so let's not moan too much about the fact that a player might be grumpy. Yeah.
One thing I will say, the one thing that before we come to 8 Nora, looks like Scott Carson is not going to renew, which has led to some speculation today from, I think it's some reporter in Ireland, that James Trafford is now of interest to Manchester City, who have still got a buyback included. Now, the problem is James Trafford left the club because he didn't want to be number 2. So I'm not sure he's going to want to come back to the club to be the number 2. That's the reason he left. Now, if he's changed his mind, or Pep wants to say, listen, you fight out for Edison for the number 1, I don't know. But that's what was rumoured this morning, that James Trafford is now of interest to City.
Who mentioned that, mate?
It was from a reporter in Mike. I don't know where we get it up. Mike somebody. Mike, let me just see if I can find it. It was from, where is it? Mark Douglas, sorry. My bad. Mark Douglas.
Where's he from?
He is a reporter. I thought it was Northern Ireland. I can't read properly tonight. My bad. Northern football correspondent for the iPaper Sports. So take that what you want.
He's a nobody, isn't he?
He's got 76,000 followers. But this is the thing. He's basically just said James Trafford, Newcastle United are in for James Trafford, but could face rival opposition from Manchester City.
Well, first of all, the reporters are nobody. And
wow.
As much as I'd like James Trafford.
Well, apologies to Mark Douglas.
Yeah. As much as I'd like James Trafford, I think he'll go to Newcastle.
Well, Newcastle are struggling at the minute on PSR. And it's not for the fees anymore. It's now for the wages. Because they're now realising that the wages are now scuppering him on PSR now.
Well, then maybe we'll get Livamento from them. Maybe they'll give him.
We'd all like to thank Liverpool, United, Arsenal, and Tottenham for that rule.
Newcastle fans are not saying anything nice about us at the minute, Alan.
well, I'm sorry, but yeah, you know, the people that invented that PSR rule is the Red Cartel. So,
Alan, you do realise a lot of Newcastle fans class us as the Red Cartel.
we're not.
They class us as a cartel club, don't you?
Really? Well, they can whistle because we're not, and we all know we're not. They're the ones that the Red Cartel are the ones that have backed and pushed the Premier League to try and do us. So, right, you know, and I'll tell you what, this PSR rule has eaten Man United, hasn't it? So, you know, they created it, and now they're whinging about it. Well, tough.
Oh no, United aren't moaning about it. United are all right with it. Anyway, can I just say, by the way, big up to Alf for the raid. Go and give Alf a lot of love. Link should be in the bio below. Go and show Alf a lot of love. Alf's channel. Go and show him a lot of love. But thank you for the raid, mate. Really do appreciate that. Ain't Nori then. Pat, bit of break. You know the biggest breaking news in this whole transfer window? For the first time in 6, 7, is it even 8 years now? We're buying a left back.
We've finally got a left back.
We're buying a left back.
Which begs the question, can he actually play a left back?
Well, I hope so. He plays it for Algeria.
Because that's all, yeah, because that's all that matters. Doesn't matter as long as they can play left back. Yeah,
wing back. He's not a full back.
So he's not a left back then. So we still the wait continues. Okay, the wait continues. Yeah. No, I'm looking forward to Neri coming through the door. Good, solid, consistent performer for a team that, you know, had to battle to be where they are in the Premier League for the last few years. And, you know, that sort of output, I believe, he averages over 10 goal contributions every season, and you know it's impressive. And what else is there? First of all, I'm still trying to wrap my head around the fact that he's only 23. I feel like he's been playing in the Premier League for 7 years. Like he feels like he's been around for a long time. Ready-made. I think he'll slot straight into that squad almost immediately. Yeah, I'm really excited about this player. Looking forward to him as well too. And you know, it's funny how people were saying, "Oh, you know, he's good going forward," but then you got the compromise of, you know, not being a good defender. But then talk to some Wolves fans, they say, "No, you'd be surprised how good his defending actually can be." Prime example, like the way he's marked against Salah and other respectable attackers that he's had to mark up against as well too. So I think what we're getting here is we're getting maybe not necessarily the complete package, but we're getting like a player who can do it, who can do a lot for us. And I think he'll certainly elevate his game under Pep and at this club as well too. So I'm really excited about it. Not too sure if we'll get it done in time before the Club World Cup, just because I think the fact that, you know, Wolves have to deal with the finances with the sell-on team, which is Onges as well too. So I think there might be a little bit to that might drag it out a little bit, but we'll just have to wait and see what happens with that. I believe it's a 50% sell-on clause. However, Wolves can abolish that sell-on clause if they buy it out, if they pay Onges 8.5 million, which, to be honest, if you're Wolves, you'd be paying that 8.5 million immediately. Yes. Because you're definitely going to make a profit from that. So I think it's smart business. They just went ahead straight away and said, never mind 8.5, here's 9. Go have a nice holiday.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Well, he's 23, Pat, and panel. Again, a young up-and-coming player, 23.
Doesn't feel like he's 23. If you feel like he's been at that.
I feel like he's been around for ages.
Yeah.
37 appearances last season in the Premier League, 4 goals and 7 assists. Jesus, sounds like Gavardio. In the FA Cup, he had 3 appearances and 1 goal. And in the Carabao Cup, he had 1 goal. He only actually, believe it or not, he only picked up 6 yellow cards all season, and 1 led to a red. And he's been in the starting 11 97% of the time. He started 91% of all the minutes available, and he's in 20% of all the goal participations for Wolverhampton Wanderers, who were actually at one stage the most informed team in the whole of the UK.
Yep.
And a lot of that was down to him. So I'm with Patrick actually. This excites me. This one gets me going.
Do you know?
Pause.
Do you know what happened is when Cancelo, people don't get it. I know that Cancelo left the club in a bad way, but when Cancelo left, he took some of the creativity away from the team. And then when you're watching Nori, even for Algeria, like he just literally, okay, so have you seen how Trent is? He's just like he's a Trent with the creativity, but has got the mentality to defend and obviously work hard for the team. And the way he dribbles past wingers, he dribbles his own winger. It's the winger supposed to dribble. He goes past the winger, goes into midfield. He can cut in. He can just do everything. I wouldn't be surprised if Pep Guardiola throws him as a winger in this team one of the games, because when there's a team that has packed the bus and Nori is still able to dribble past, you can actually, I'll send you a clip from the AFCON. I think the team we were playing was so scared of them. About 4 players were on Nori, but he found a way to go through them. So the future is going to be exciting, and Haaland will love him because he can assist a lot. So that's something that's going to be added to this team.
Patrick, you say that too. You know, I think it's really going to thrive with having Aït-Nouri around him too. Is Marmoush? Yeah, because Aït-Nouri will keep the width, and it will allow Marmoush to move central, and I think it'll create more. It will create more goal scoring opportunities for him as well. So there's every opportunity with Aït-Nouri's threat, being able to create more space for Marmoush when they go forward. There's every chance we may see another goal of the season every year, because I think it'll create so much space for Marmoush when he gets the ball that he'll be able to go ahead and do what he does best.
Well,
I think if Marmoush gets the right players around him, we could see him with a goal and assist.
Forget Marmoush, Patrick.
What do you mean?
Patrick, you're all missing the key ingredient here. We're buying a left-sided defender, which means what? Josko Gvardiol can go exactly where he was actually bought for.
Centre-back.
Yeah,
he can go into left centre-back. That's the bit that gets me. That's the bit that I'm excited more about. Put Josko in his actual position.
Where he looks better.
But I am right about
Martin. I know. Yeah, but Patrick, I think you have to accept that everyone in their minds is fantasizing about this open game where, you know, Marmoush has space in the middle and Aït-Nouri's going left. The fact is, we're still going to be dealing with the 10-man block. So I'm not quite so sure that we're necessarily going to see what everyone's dreaming about. If we're playing PSG,
I don't do spiders. They go through me.
I thought your ITK watch was attacking you.
Can I just say, Martin, in Manchester, you have spiders that can do absolutely nothing. They just like tickle your hand.
Why I can't go
to Australia? Alan, me and Pat are sitting here with spiders that could kill us at any moment. Do we?
That's the power. That's the power Fabrizio Romano has. If you leak something too soon, he'll electrocute you through his watch.
Do you know I can't even watch Arachnophobia? I haven't watched that film.
No, but I think Aït-Nouri is exciting. But I do think,
Rich, I know it's winter right now, but you're still probably getting the occasional huntsman in the house.
Yeah. I always put them in a glass and put them out the front.
You keep the bugs away at night. Nothing wrong with them.
Yeah, stamp on the occasional funnel web.
Why is everyone forgetting about Bernardo Silva sneaking into the team?
Why do you make it sound like it's walking on hot coals? It's just like, time for my weekly ritual is stepping on funnel webs.
That's what Hong's biggest fear is getting Bernardo Silva back into this team.
Don't worry, he'll find a way.
Akanji will find his way in.
Yeah, there's 2 players, Akanji and Bernardo Silva. If they stay, they will always find a way. They'll find a way.
Yeah. I think this is going to be Bernardo's farewell tour this season.
That's the fear, Martin, because if Bernardo Silva's still here, which sadly he will start. That's the thing, and that's the
best mate. Pep loves him. He does.
Yeah, that's the problem. Like if he's fit and available, which he always is, he plays. Simple as that. Regardless of what lineups that everybody puts out, and I just say to myself, I don't know what lineup you guys are going to do, but
how many? Honestly, right?
we're saying this, but Bernardo Silva was the key ingredient in the best side Manchester City will ever have.
Yeah.
In my view, he was the glue. He was the glue who went everywhere. So, you know, he's played more football than any top player in any European club, in any top league over the last 5 seasons prior to last season. So he was a bit knackered. He wasn't at his best. But I'm not going to insult one of the greatest players who can still, I think, play at a world-class level if he gets the rest to actually give him 3 months off. And he's one player who I wouldn't be selling this summer. You know,
I think that's a great point,
even if he's injured all season. So I think, I think we've got to be a bit.
I think though makes a great point, and I said this earlier with apps. You low blocks only come if you do it at the slow pedestrian tempo. The idea of the quickness and up in the tempo, which is I think why he's bringing in Pep Linders to up the tempo from the front three and from the back.
That's true on the break. That's true on the break. But once you've got the ball at their end of the pitch, how exactly do you then play madly quickly? You still got the low block.
No, because when you say low block,
dominating, you're going to get the low block.
There's a difference between a Southampton. If it's Southampton and it's like the dirtiest of low blocks where they stick 10 men on the goal line, then I'm with you. I agree with you. But there's a low block and then there's Southampton low block. Not everyone did a Southampton low block. That's why I didn't go crazy at Southampton as much because, yes, I was upset we didn't win.
Martin, are you referring to sort of like a Crystal Palace or a Bournemouth? They'll put a few men back, but they're ready. They're always on the front foot, ready to go if there's a loss of possession or something.
Southampton. Southampton.
There was a world apart between those two, though. World apart.
Yeah.
Southampton's low block was the worst we ever got. They were not even interested in coming out the bloody.
It was dead. It was soulless.
We've had Bournemouth do that in past seasons.
No, we haven't. That is the worst I've seen it, Mitch.
Now I remember we beat Bournemouth 4-0 a couple of years ago, and it's
Burnley used to do that, Rich, isn't it? Burnley.
No, for me, and it's just me. Southampton was the worst I've seen in 10 years. Anyone do that?
Yeah, but no, I'm just saying.
They were stood on the goal line, Patrick. That's how low block they went. They were like, they ended up with 5 keepers. Like, what are you doing? There's a low block, and then there's that.
Martin, do you know what I can ask for, Martin?
Albert Bellis had a better game between the Sticks and Ramsdale.
Yeah, all I can ask for Pep Guardiola this season, to be honest with you, is we please, let's beat that United team. I don't want to draw, nor do I want to lose to that United team. Beat them home and away. I despise the fact that every time United find a way to either beat us home or away. No, I want to beat them every time. Beat them. They are not that good anymore. Just beat them. So I hope this time, since we have all the new midfielders, energy
spending some money, mate. I know, Rich, you've got to go.
I've got to go. So night, everyone.
I see. Wait. You're impressed with Cunha and Mboma?
Yeah, Rich, I'll ring you later.
Yeah, sweet then.
Rich, I'll see you in a few hours, mate.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest with you, Patrick. And Mbembo is a very good signing.
Yeah, he's not bad.
Cunha's a good signing. If Cunha or Mbembo had gone to any other team but United, I'm thinking really good signings. Now, the fact they've gone to United, I'm a bit like, is Amorim going to get the best out of him? I don't know. I don't know until I see it. But the one thing I will say is, Mbembo is a damn good player. Cunha is a very good player. So I'm not going to come in here and say the bot crap because I don't think they have.
No, that
Bruno stayed. I don't know why Bruno stayed. Bruno's turned his back on 800 grand a week for some weird reason. I hate United to bits.
I don't think he's going to get that again.
And I'm going to be honest with you.
I don't think he'll get it again.
And people are going to kill me for this. I have got to say this because I think we kill players when they do that and they go for money. It's the first player, I can't believe I'm going to say this, big up Bruno Fernandes for that. Perhaps to turn his back on 800 grand a week and say no.
At that age also, at the age of 31.
Yeah. And, because I hate the fact he's at United and I I think he's an absolute rat of a player, but from a standpoint,
Martin, I've said before, Bruno Fernandes is the first and only player in Premier League history to man-mark the referee.
Yeah, he could have run away and gone and took $800,000 a week, and he hasn't. So I'm not gonna. It is what it is. But anyway, last few. I'm just gonna do these super chats. Julie, thank you so much for renewing. You're nearly your 2 years, Julie. It's been so long and flown by, and we have enjoyed every day you've been here, Julie. Much love to you. Matthew Hoyle has become a new channel member. Thank you so much, Matthew, for joining, and welcome to the community, mate. We're a family here. DB, how are you doing, mate? By the way, can you send me that email again? Because I've lost all my emails. Send me that email again, DB. Because I did want to meet up with you at Wembley, but I couldn't because, as told you, my internet died a death at Wembley. So I do apologise. Has gifted 10 channel memberships because he's a superstar. Cookie, do you think we can get there? Do you think we can't get to here by the 9th? I think we'll get 3 here by the 9th. I think all 3 happen by the 9th.
And if we don't, then you've got another 24 hours because it closes on the 10th.
Yep. It's the 10th it closes. I think all 3 get done. I think Caldoon was being a bit optimistic with we'll get everybody here by the Club World Cup.
Actually, Martin, I need to bring something up in regards to some of these.
Oh, hang on 1 minute. I've got one more, mate.
Oh, yeah.
Shedders has renewed for a 13th month. And you know what? We've not played it all night, so let's do it.
More than you believe. More than you believe, I'm happy.
There you go.
While you're there, you got another membership as well. Denton Dixon, 10 months.
Denton!
Oh, it's someone else's channel now.
It's their channel.
It's someone else's.
Yeah, it's their channel. Member for 10 months. Superstar, mate. Thank you, Denton. Right, now you can carry on now.
No, I just wanted to mention too, because I've been wanting to say this on other shows, but I thought I'd wait until we were back. I think are we also forgetting a little bit, and this is something we brought up in last summer, was signings from July 1st onwards, because it's all well and good getting these new signings in, but we also need to factor in who are we going to sign when the books reset on July the 1st. Because you know that's a big issue, Martin. We've discussed this before when it comes to certain signings and a certain time frame in which we can buy them based on PSR or FFP. So when you think about the fact that we brought a big chunk of our this transfer window forward in January with who we signed with Marmouche and Kuznov and Race and all those players, but then if we're still looking at doing business, then have we got to look at things from a PSR perspective where it's like, okay, if we're going to have 3 more players come through in this window, we may have more players come through when the window reopens again in, late June or whatever it is. But then we've got to think about who are we going to be spending on, and are we able to spend on before July 1st, or are we going to have to wait until the books reset before we go again?
No. I don't think so. You'll be fine with that. I think other clubs will have that.
So do you think it's based more on the 3-year window of PSR, or is it?
I think other clubs will have that issue, such as because I think where some are going to have a problem, and this is just my honest view on it, is when I look at this window, so in Newcastle, for example, they've lost in Bremo. We're going to talk about Livramento in a moment, because, by the way, Livramento is only on £62,000 a week. I'm saying only like it's chump change. He's only on 62K. But my whole point is here, because I was listening to a Newcastle show earlier, the worry about this window is all the top players have gone. So all the top shelf players have gone. So by the time that second window open, you're sort of left with the players that either weren't going to get sold or they were too expensive and they may become cheaper later on. Because if you look, Rangers has gone, Cherki's gone, Vert's gone, all the top players start. Cunha's gone. When Bremo, all the top people are gone in this first window. I think that's where the worry mat is. But I think for where I feel sorry is the like of Aston Villa. Aston Villa have got a serious PSR issue.
Second season in a row.
Well, third.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Grealish member over PSR. They've got sell. Is it Emmy? They're looking at Emmy Martinez. Could be leaving. And there was somebody else they were looking at. Because it looks like Rashford's going back. Chelsea, by the way, have just paid 5 million quid to cancel Sancho's loan. So United have just been given 5 million quid for just cancelling a loan early. Because what you found is this Club World Cup is because it went. What's the date? It starts June 19th.
Our first game is the 18th.
Right. So it starts around about the 18th. People's contracts are being cancelled early and fees. So Trent Alexander-Arnold, Real Madrid have just paid Liverpool £10 million for 2 weeks of a contract because they want him for the Club World Cup. Because his contract doesn't officially end until 30th of June. So watch what we could do this with Napoli. And Napoli in the Club World Cup. No, they're not. Are they?
No, they're not.
No. So it won't happen with us. But if Napoli don't want KDB to go to the Club World Cup, they may have City are within their rights to go, well, you want him 2 weeks earlier, give us some money. Or we take him to the Club World Cup.
Yeah.
Because legally and contractually, we're within our rights to take KDB to the Club World Cup for the first 2 weeks. Because his contract doesn't end until 30th of June. Real Madrid have just paid Liverpool 10 million quid to get Trent out of that early.
Yeah, and that's how it works across all of Europe. The only exception to the rule, and really it's only a 6-month thing or half-year thing, whichever way you want to look at it, is South American players because they're all contracted by calendar year. So you're never going to have contracts that are like signed off on, say, like the day after a league season finishes. It's always 30th of June. It's always 30th of June.
Yeah. It's by the way, I do want to show this one thing before we go into Livramento. I've seen this going around on social media lately. Some people need to know history of Manchester City. That's not our old badge. Where's this eagle was our old badge crap come from? That badge started in 1997. It was only
that badge only came about because Peter Swallow sold the right of the old one, which is similar to the new one.
So I don't know what we're doing that about. That's not an old badge, cheeky bastards. Stop calling it an old badge. It's not an old badge. Anyway, Tino Livramento. Because we have got an issue with homegrown.
Yeah, massively.
It's not that old, mate, considering we were established in 1880. Come on now, Kira. It's not that old. It was only in motion for 13 years, that badge.
I still think the best badge we had was from the Colin Bell's era.
But yeah, no. Tino Livramento, Newcastle United fans have got very upset about this, saying we have no right to be. We're only looking for Fabrizio Romano to say there is major interest, and I know there is. Livramento has been of interest to Pep for about 2 years when he was back at Southampton. Is 80 million quid too much, or is it doesn't matter what we're going to spend, and Newcastle are just going to tell us to piss off?
That's fair, though. And that's fair. And if they refuse 80 million, I think Newcastle is mad because they're bottom for 40, right? And we spoke about this, Martin. The bottom for 40. Let's not forget about the English tax on the players. It's always like 20 million added on top. That's 60. Adding another extra 20, 80 million for Livramento is not madness. I think that's a fair price, and that's the only way you can get him out of Newcastle. Anyway, go ahead, Alan.
I think you're right, Patrick. We have got an issue with homegrown players. But when you go and buy them, they're overpriced, and they are overpriced. I don't think Newcastle will sell him at all. I don't think he would want to leave Newcastle at the moment as well.
Why?
Newcastle have just won their first trophy. The club's going forward in the right way.
I know you don't. Great.
Yeah.
Forward, how?
I've just got that winning feeling, haven't they? Let's be honest. They've got Champions League. I cannot see why he would want to leave.
Have they got a better squad than Liverpool?
No.
Have they got a better squad than us? Did we get all our players?
Right. I would say that's debatable at the moment. If we get our targets, different.
Right, well, that's what I'm saying. If we get our targets and we got a better squad than them.
Yes.
With the Arsenal got a better squad than them?
Yes.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I think Newcastle are a very good club, and I think what's happening with PSR is a bit of a disaster for them, and I think it's very unfair.
Well, mate, you know my opinion on PSR
but Alan, in all fairness, and they won't like this is the bit, and I've said this to Baz and to Ian. Aston Villa have got to sell players. Manchester City have even had to sell players to balance books. Liverpool had to sell Coutinho. Aston Villa had to sell Grealish. Why is it only Newcastle who never have to sell anybody?
Coutinho went to Barcelona
for 150 million.
Yeah, and he used that money to get the goalkeeper and the centre half. Correct?
Mm-hmm.
Which made them champions.
But my question is, Alan, why are Newcastle? Why have they got this? This is not against them. Why are they the only fan base who refuse to sell anybody? Everybody else has to sell.
Wait a minute, Martin. You're right about that. Why do we keep giving this? I know that, look, they have money.
They won't help themselves, is my point I'm making.
Yeah, you're right. I know that the Saudi have money, but at the end of the day, even at City, even as big as City is, even United and Liverpool, all these clubs, if somebody came with 70, 80 million for one of your players right now, where everybody needs the money, I know that Newcastle obviously are in the top 4, they have ambitions. You're still taking that 80 million. Do you remember City with Alvarez? We took the 80 million, 90 million. There's money that you can use. Why is it always? You're right. Every panel I go to, when somebody says I want that player from Newcastle, people are like, "Nah, Newcastle is not going to sell you."
The attack, yeah.
Yeah, like who told us that Newcastle are not willing to? Because I'm even 140 for Isaac. Somebody said Newcastle are not going to allow that. I was like, no way, Newcastle are refusing 140 million. They can go find another striker. I don't know. Am I wrong?
It's not against Newcastle. I'm not trying to attack Newcastle. I'm trying to
get where you're coming from. Yeah.
Is why are they the only fan base who say nobody's allowed to sell anyone?
Well, that's like Liverpool. Liverpool fans are the same on that one.
No,
anyone
but
leaves,
just the fans.
Everyone leaves. Listen, mate. Anyone leaves Liverpool, they're getting the house burnt down.
No, I understand that. I'm not saying that he is coming. My point I'm saying is Newcastle's whole issue here could be if they sold Livramento for 80 million quid, they can have 4 times that money back on PSR. PSR problem solved. Wage issue solved. They want to buy the top echelons of players, but pay them peanuts. If you want to play in the big boy league, you've got to start paying big boy money. I'm sorry, I'm not trying this to be a dick here. I'm trying to put it bluntly, Alan, they've gone past that part now. They're now at the part of help yourself a bit.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I know what you're saying. But when it comes to FFP and PSR, I disagree with both things.
No, I do disagree with it, and I think what they're doing, I agree. I totally agree with you, Alan. It is awful what is happening to them. But they could solve it by selling one player for 80, 90 million quid and they're out. Aston Villa had to sell Grealish. Liverpool sold Coutinho. We sold Palmer. We sold Alvarez. Why are Newcastle the only team who will not sell anybody? That's all I'm asking. It's a general question.
I personally, Martin, I think it's attachment. I think the despair of not winning a trophy for so long, they just don't want any element of that squad to be broken up. Do they believe that current squad is and winning the League Cup is something that they can?
They're not with UEFA, mate. They're screwed on wages with UEFA because UEFA and PSR is very different now. LB 98.
Mm-hmm. Remember last summer they sold Minte to Brighton as well too.
They haven't got a Premier League PSR issue. As when I watched the Toon review earlier, their exact words were, "We've now got money to spend. We can't afford the wages." They've got no room on wages because they're way above 70% with UEFA. They're in the Champions League now. They've got to follow UEFA's fair play rules as well, not just the Premier League.
Yeah.
So yes, it's great. You've got to Europe. Trouble is now you can't afford to pay the wages for the European Champions League players.
Yeah. So Newcastle's backs are against the wall now regarding this. Yeah. So now they have to sell a player now. So I think that's where the opportunity of getting Livramento to come in. And I think like if 80 million comes out, Newcastle, they have to, like, I'm not trying to be silly here.
City won't pay 80 million. I'm sorry, they won't.
Yeah. They're gonna have to allocate someone at some point.
Yeah. No, I kind of get what Alan's saying in a way too, because at first when I was thinking to myself like, oh no, 80 million. And I thought they'll kind of put us between a rock and a hard place, because if we continue down this road of having bare skeleton English quota, then if Newcastle are under the impression that, hey, we need this guy because we're desperate on our quota, then they'll basically, force us to pay way over the odds for Livramento. But then also, too, we can kind of play a bit of a tug of war with them as well, too, by saying, well, hang on, if you're going to do that because of the quota, then we're going to do it to you because of PSR. So I think at the end of the day, there will be some sort of a mutual agreement. I think there has to be an understanding. If we're interested in Livramento, I think it's because both clubs have concerns. So I think, for the better interest, we'll have to look at something where it's going to be beneficial for both parties. At the end of the day, Newcastle will be happy because if they did sell Livramento to us, they're going to make a nice profit on a player that's only been there for 2 seasons. And we get what we need in terms of a right back, English quota, and someone who could possibly be at the club for 10 years. So if we pay 80 million for a player like that, I'm all for it.
The trouble is, Juliet, it's not the only good thing about breaking the UEFA FSR rules is it's only a fine. But the trouble is, because what you've got to do is the idea of UEFA's PSR is building it up through the years. So City have been continuously in the Champions League for, is it 15 years now, 16 years?
This is what I was going to mention, Martin, because I thought if Newcastle want to prevent this, then they have to stay in the Champions League for at least the next 5 years. At least the next 5.
You can't do a year in, a year out, a year in, a year out, a year. No. You can't do that. You've got to continuously be in it. But the trouble is they're in a rock and a hard
goes nowhere either.
Because now they've got funds to spend, but they can't pay the wages for the players. And Bremo wanted $250,000 a week. The highest earner at Newcastle is 180, which is Bruno. They have a wage cap. And that's what the Newcastle fans are now saying. They're screwed because they've got into the Champions League.
Which is kind of smart from Newcastle's. It's kind of smart from Newcastle's standpoint as well too, because they know they have to be very, very, cash, very, very aware of how much they're spending on wages, because until they know that they've got the sort of squad that can compete in the Premier League and consistently get them in the top 4 or the top 5, then they're not able to go ahead and go give the big Galactico wages to players yet. I mean, I'm still surprised when I hear that Bruno's on 180, Bruno G's on 180 a week there. But I get it too. And as you said, it's like they need to consistently be in the top competitions before they can start, looking for your Florian Wirtz equivalent sort of players, before they can offer KDB sort of wages. So I get what they're doing. I think it's a smart thing to do, rather than what some other clubs have done in history, and it's really, really hurt them down the line because they haven't been able to achieve what they want. And then it hurts them where it matters most, in their wallets.
I know why they're doing it, Pat. They're doing it because they want to go against the the PSR rules. They're trying to say we can do it, but you're not going to force us to sell anybody.
Yeah,
I get the sentiment, and it's admirable. But the trouble is, it's going to hold them back.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. Do you want to move forward or be sentimental to prove a point and be held back? Because at some point, Isaac and all them are going to go, I want 300 grand a week.
Yeah.
And they're going to go, we can't afford that. So I have to leave then.
Yeah, and the other problem too, Martin, as well, is they don't have the luxury or the fallback of with Champions League, where if you don't quite make it, you can fall back to the Europa League, which can help. Which can help your coefficient. Which can help your coefficient as well.
I'm not being a dick for Newcastle.
Yeah.
So any Newcastle fans watching this back and play, but I'm not. I am fully understanding what you're doing. I'm just saying is we're trying this. I said this point to Battery in a long time ago.
Yeah.
You can be sentimental and be stagnant, or you can be make an odd sacrifice and push forward. Yeah. Which one do you want to do?
And why are City fans, like as City fans, I don't see why we're complaining. We actually broke the record for Walker for 50 million from Spurs, and then we went to pay 52 million for Benjamin Mendy. That was years ago, and this is 2025. So we're seriously not happy to pay.
And we have another 5.
Inflationary wise, Patrick, it feels quite similar to Kyle Walker.
Yeah, it does. It is
in terms of the cost. Yeah.
Spot on. The real guys stupid.
Because I like. By the way, I'm sorry. I was going to say 80 million is now like. I would say 80 million is now like what 50 million is like back. I would say 80 million is the new 50 million in 2020 this year.
No, I agree.
And he's 22 years old. He's 22 years old.
Yeah, exactly. Then and I think, and of course he's he's now like a full England international. So I like to think like we will go for him, and I think Newcastle will have to bite the bullet and really have to say to
I know, Alan, you've got to.
Do you also?
Yeah.
We'll see you tomorrow. Take care, mate. Big up.
See you later. Take care.
See you in a few hours. Yeah, see you in a few hours, Alan.
Like LB98 said, they're much better right back. I think LB98, the issue is it's homegrown. We can't buy any more foreign players. LB98, we're at our limit now with these 3. These 3 take us to 17. So unless you're going to sell, we don't know whether we will. People are talking about selling homegrown. That's the trouble. LB98. It's we now need to have a look at homegrown players. That's the problem. We're at our limit with foreign. Because all we bought for the last 6 signings are foreign players. That's the problem. Again, that's a rule that we've got a problem with. Where Newcastle got a problem with the PSR, we've got a problem with the way we built our squad. We built our squad a bit naff. We've not balanced this homegrown and foreign contingent outright. We've not done it. And what we've ended up doing is a lot of our outgoings are going to be homegrown. And the trouble is, yes, you can all go Rico Lewis, but everyone was. We talked.
They're still a couple of years away from that applying to them. Yeah,
and not only that, Kushinoff and Savio go into the foreign contingent next season.
So I think
you'll lose Bernardo, you'll lose Kovacic, but Savio and Kushinoff will go into it.
And you've got Stones and Ake who will leave in the next 2 years as well. That's a huge chunk that's on the way out.
Yeah,
this is the problem. We've got to try and manage it better. So I don't know how we do it. It's going to be. Listen, I'm not saying Liberamento should happen or will happen. I'm just saying, let's just. We're okay. We're allowed to put a bid in. We're allowed to have a conversation without getting hung, drawn, and quartered by the Jockeys. I get it. Yeah, Nobbins homegrown, great show. Anyone who doesn't get that, honestly, I'll stick a link in the thing later on.
Yeah, it's very good.
Honestly, Nobbins' show, homegrown, what a show that was. Oh, take care, mate. I will respond to that, Fogger. Take care, mate. You're a superstar. We're going to end in 5 anyway. Couple of things that we did miss out on. Simon Clark has renewed for a 16-month. You're a superstar, sir. And Mike is gifted 5 channel memberships. Absolute legends, each and every one of you. And you know what that means when I can find it.
More than you believe. More than you believe, I'm happy.
Right, question before we go. Obviously, the 2 away kits have now come out, or well, the leaks have.
Still
It is the all black kit. Patrick, what's in the 3rd kit?
The black one.
No.
The
water one.
The rainy one.
Kit, yeah.
Nah, that's poor. I'm sorry. I have looked at it a few times and said, let me try see something great. I don't know. It's just poor. Maybe let's. The thing is, it's bad that something looks poor before the player wears it. That's how bad it is. So, and even though are those other ones right, Martin? The ones with the stripes, the stripes on them. The ones with the lines on them. Please don't tell me they're not Dreams 2. I've seen one that's a bit orange, and the other one is white, and it's got a line on it. I hope that's also.
Yes, that is the club. They are the Club World Cup kits.
I give up.
There was also talk that we're going to have another Chinese New Year shirt coming in probably halfway through the season as well.
Those have been great, haven't they, though? Those are okay if you look at them.
I mean, we're obviously going to have Christmas jumpers. We're going to have bloody... I don't know. What's next?
Which one?
We'll have one for Bonfire Night. Bloody everything.
Oh, they're doing a new one as well. They're doing the Year of the Horse.
Yeah, Chinese New Year. Yeah.
Wait a minute. Sorry, Martin. Sorry to interrupt, but isn't the club? Are we wearing like these special kits for the Club World Cup by any chance? The white strip with that.
Yeah.
I think we're wearing that for the Club World Cup, if I'm correct.
The ugly ones, yeah.
Yeah.
The ugly sash. Yeah.
This is one of them. I'll just get it now. It's on DHK. I'm just trying to get it.
The issue is once you sign a deal with these companies and they bring their bright ideas, they also test these jerseys on you. They test them out on you before the World Cup. If you notice that some of the jerseys that Puma used to test for clubs, they used to be in the World Cup. So they test them out to see how they respond, and when the World Cup comes in or the AFCON, they make it for the teams in the AFCON and the World Cup. They know that people are going to buy the jersey, but those are ugly ass.
Well, someone said there's going to be 8 new kits, up to 8 new kits this season.
Jesus, they want to milk us off the money, isn't it? Jesus.
Jeez.
This is it. I'll just get you this one. So this is going to be, I'll just show you this quickly. I know what they based it on. So this is the 3rd kit, and I will come back to comments. That's the 3rd kit.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what? I need to
two things. One, did Temu hack Puma's database?
They did.
And number 2, I would rather wear a gutter puddle in Deansgate than wear that shirt.
That's horrible.
But saying that though, just to freak out the chat, for the sake of the laughs, I will get one.
Big old panda. Go and show me.
Are you going to get one?
It's like people have like wacky tacky tie day or like tacky shirt day at work and something like that.
Well,
this is my tacky shirt now for
Wait a minute, the badge is in front again. Go back, Martin. They put the badge in front again as the badge is back in front.
Look at the 2 kits.
Hang on, Martin. You've been an imposter. That's the knockoff one that they sell at the city shop. This is the OG. This is the OG. Can you move your photo, please? There's the OG. See with the old.
Moving it. That was the 2000-2001 away kit. We actually got relegated in that kit away at Ipswich.
I remember this one. I remember this. Haaland's dad got into a tussle with Robbie Savage at Leicester away. I remember that one.
It is meant to be homage to the rain, David T. And by the way, David T, you might know, like my Newcastle part, we just come out of the Newcastle section. I know there are better photos, but look at the one Pat said, and then this. It is similar. I think they're trying to reach towards all the past as well.
Can you put the black away kit up just to ease the audience? Just to make it feel
that is the away
there
kit.
We go.
Look at that.
Look at that.
Black shorts, black socks.
Gorgeous.
I'm getting that, definitely.
You look like a dustbin. Bin liner.
Yeah. Well, I think I definitely will probably get the home kit when Cherki gets with Cherki's name on it when we get it over the line. I don't want to tempt fate.
Rather you do it, Juan, because I've got a superstition. I don't buy kits. If I'm going to buy a kit with a name on it, I never buy it with a name on the back of a player we signed that season.
Only because they always leave when I do that.
Well, I put the
player to leave. I'll put the name on the back. He will leave. I promise you.
I bought Haaland way before he came to the team. I just took the risk and bought Haaland.
So who do you want out? I can get Nunes on the back if you want Nunes out. I don't know.
Nah, get a Kanji.
Yeah,
I've never had a shirt with Bernardo on the back. I think this is Bennett's last season. Probably going to be his last season. I think this is the time.
I agree so as well because I have to be honest with you. As much as I've been so frustrated with Bernardo Silva last year, I think this definitely. I don't think he'll get a contract extension. I think it is time that, and I think we should let him go back to Benfica, as well, so he can fulfill his.
Huang, it makes sense. We got the best out of him.
Yeah.
We'll send him out the right way. In May next year, and he'll go back home. Off into the Portuguese sunset, run off the back of that Lisbon tram, which Alan will be driving, it'll be a nice way for him to finish up.
Yeah, 100%.
These are the Club World Cup kits, but anyone didn't know. So there is the first. I don't know what's going to be home or what's going to be away.
That's a disgrace to the old Sash kit from 12 years ago.
That is a disgrace to the away. That is a disgrace.
14 years ago, it's disgusting.
Kit. And then
what's with all the scribbling on the back of it?
I don't know.
I don't get it. If you want to reinvent the old Sash, then don't put all that scribble.
Looks like Belgium. I know Pulpy's got it. Looks like Belgium's kit.
Looks like a road worker.
Hey, Patrick, you seen that?
That looks like it's been modelled off a bloody.
That is horrible.
You want a bit of that, or do you want that one? These are the Club World Cup kits.
No, Martin. If you send that, I'll do what.
That looks like a traffic cone.
I'm good.
It looks like a traffic cone.
There's not a set of blue in it.
You could put half a dozen of those. You could lie down half a dozen of those in the road, and people would detour around it.
But where's the blue?
This is horrible. This is bad.
Yeah, not a single blue at all.
Pat, do you know what's funny? There's somebody in Puma who's getting paid to make these. They're getting so much money to make these. This is ridiculous.
And they're going to charge.
And they're still drawing them up in crayon as well.
I'm going to come back with a nice one from
Cherki.
Ian wants to come on. Oh, he's been listening.
Is he it?
He's been listening. Yeah, he's been listening. If anyone's got a jump, I know it's late. Patrick, I know. If anyone's got a jump, by all means, just jump.
This was a great kit.
Yeah, I have that one.
Great kit.
It reminds me of Sunny.
Yeah, I hold on to this one because it's quite
rare
now.
Blue?
Because
where's our blue? Freaking horrible.
It's quite rare. It's got that I Heart MCR, the mosaic.
Evening, mate.
Good evening.
Why are your fan base awkward little sods?
You what, mate?
Why are your fan base awkward little sods?
Awkward?
Yeah, 80 million quid, Livermento, call it a nice deal. We're over.
That ain't happening. You know that.
Then don't complain about not buying anyone in future then.
I'm not complaining.
He knows about this because me and Ian have had these combos for 3 hours at a time.
Hey, Pat, how you doing?
Good, thanks, Ian. Yeah, it's good to see you, mate.
Good,
By the way, True City Van's got a jump. Go and show Patrick a lot of love.
Wait, let me ask Ian a question. Ian, are you willing to sell Livermento for 80 million? Would you say no to that? 80 million.
Right. We are in a position now as a football club not to sell. That's the difference. So even though there's a price there, which is good, where's the 80 million came from? That's what I want to know.
What do you mean?
He's trying to say, where's the source of this 80 million?
Where is the 80 million pound came from? Where's that figure came from?
You're saying that's not the price?
By winning trophy after trophy after trophy after trophy.
No.
Of course it is.
So even if it's 80 million pound,
yep,
I don't think Newcastle United will still sell Team Livramento.
80 million.
No.
But but trouble, as I said earlier on, you're going to stay stagnant for a long time then.
Right. Martin, you've always said you're the big boys, and when the big boys come knocking, you get your players. Right?
Look at him now quoting me from private phone calls.
No, this is what you've said. Now, Newcastle United, where we finish and we win cups and we're in Champions League, we are slowly becoming, quote me, slowly going in the right direction. So we are not in a position to sell football players like we used to.
No, I agree. That's why I said 80 million quid.
Great
80
figure.
million quid's like one of the, is it a record for a fullback even, or one of them?
Oh, it is, yeah. It is, yeah.
Maybe, yeah. But if we sell him, we are going to have to spend that kind of money to bring in a replacement of his quality. That can, not just because he's a right back, but he can play left side as well.
Well, you'll get 4 times the money to spend. And
yeah.
you'll get wages.
Cambiasso is 60 million.
As Stefan Boldson has said,
yeah.
You're screwed wage-wise in a minute.
Of course we are. We are in a bracket where we've discussed before, where the Isak deal now is important to get that done so we can attract players coming in on his wages.
Mm-hmm.
Like we've said prior, where yous are in a position where the wage bracket is always going to be the 250 plus market, and then you get the best players in the world.
Yeah,
Bruno's our top earner on 160 a week. So
the trouble is, I don't know. Have you read that Stefan Boldson thing?
I haven't read it in depth.
So what it is, it's not. So to put it, but you'll know what I mean by this.
Yeah,
it's not PSR from the Premier League you're struggling on now.
Is it UEFA?
It's UEFA one because you're now
UEFA.
in there.
Yeah,
because your wages are over 70% of your turnover now.
So then that's yeah.
So you can't add now into the UEFA one.
Right.
So in that case,
you've got where you wanted to be, but now you've got a new set of rules that you've been barried up by. If you get what I mean, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Which is what I think Martin and I were saying before you came on here as well, which is trophies are great and fair play to you. You know, you've got something you can hold on to for a long time and you've got something that you can build on from that. But I think the next 5 seasons, if you can consistently stay in the Champions League, that's going to be just as important as winning those trophies as well. In terms of how you want to function, how you want to operate as a club. Because if you can do that, if you can go 5 years plus consistently in the Champions League, then that wage bill for you can skyrocket, and then you can start getting your Wirtz level sort of signings, your KDB sort of wages for those sort of players. So you're close, you're getting there, but it's still it's a case of once you've got that consistency of being competitive year in, year out, then you can really start, kicking doors down for all the big clubs across Europe.
You know what it is, Ian? There's an old saying, and I don't mean it's saying you'll understand. When I say it, you'll understand what I mean. You're too big to be small. You're too small to be big.
Yeah, I get that.
And so as in the Premier League, you're too big to be small now. But when it comes to the Champions League rules, you're too small to be big.
Oh, 1,000,000%.
So you're sort of now stuck in that middle section of like, where do we go?
So your question there, exactly what you said before, will we take 80 million for Tilo Livramento? I still think we are a club now where we are in a position where we still can go. We don't need to take that offer.
Yeah,
because we're going in the right direction, and we don't want to get him. Don't want to leave him to let him go. I think Anthony Gordon be the one that will leave rather than Tilo Livramento.
No, I understand that. Yeah,
and the reason why I'm saying that is we will still, Martin. I know you're saying that we've got a lot of money if we do sell Tilo Livramento, but how can we spend that money wisely to bring in a player of his ability, where he can play left and right, he can play.
Well,
yeah, no,
I mean, the first thing that will come to mind is what Pat said to me, where Pat said to us just before he left was, if you let Livramento go, then you'd be able to get someone like a Cambiasso in, who would probably cost you about 20 million less, he probably would agree to a wages similar to what we probably offered him as well. Yeah. He is a like for like. He is a wing back who can play both sides and can drift in the midfield as well. And you would be able to make a profit off him as well too. That's just a sensible way. That's sort of like just an impulsive reaction to me. But if you wanted to use that as an example, then that's something where you can say there is something in the market there for you. If you wanted to look at, trying to find a like for like, but at the same time still being financially savvy in the market about it too.
It's difficult. It really is. It's a position where financially, if he does go for that kind of money, it's still quite difficult to do, I think.
No, Andrew, be careful on that, because yes, we won, but it's still being, the rules haven't been put into place yet. That's because Manchester City said go away and do this properly, and when they meant go away for a long time and sort this out. You don't want it done in a week. It will take months and months to get these rules and new rules into place with third-party ownership.
So anyway, Martin, right? After a full season where you've watched Bruno, there's obviously that you loved and you wanted him in.
Yeah.
Right?
No, I still get stick off City fans over that.
So who would you rather have, Tonali or Bruno?
Bruno.
Pat?
Bruno.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you see the differences in the both players?
Well, no, I don't think we need Bruno now, because I think Reinders can do what Bruno does. I think Tijani Reinders is going to be an absolute top midfielder for us. And then now, and with Cherki as well, I think the three signings we're basically going to make with Nora.
I think Cherki's an absolute
Cherki. Well, yeah, Cherki and Tijani Reinders. Because, by the way, I think I haven't even told the chat this. I think City makes 6 signings. I got up 2 journalists the other day that they didn't give any names, but City were nowhere near done at 3. City was still going.
Well, you told me months ago that you were going to go all out and sign 6 players in the summer. 6.
That's the number I've got.
Which makes you wonder how many we would have signed if we didn't get those 4 signings through in January.
Mamouche should have been
to sign Mamouche in January for that kind of money was just masterclass, by the way.
No, they moved that forward. Mamouche should have been this summer. They just brought it forward.
And to be honest, if it was this summer, it would have been even cheaper.
To get that player in January was masterclass, by the way.
By the way, what did I say? When we spoke, I think it was about 5 months ago.
Yeah.
Which player did I tell you from Newcastle?
All right, Big Ed. All right, Big Ed.
Who did I say? Because all the chatting, I talk bullshit. I talk bullshit. Which name did I say to you?
It is a big noggin, I can't lie.
All right, I was walking the dog along my caravan park and he went, Marmouche. I went, you got no chance. He went, all right.
And who else did I say from Newcastle we wanted? I said Pep's liked him for a long time.
Team Livramento.
I don't bullshit people. I don't.
And what did I say? And what did I say?
Well, you can't bullshit a bullshitter.
You can't.
And he told me then you're not getting him.
Yeah, you can't bullshit a bullshitter.
No, I did. He was at a caravan and I went, forget Bruno, we've moved to Tino, and he went, what? I went, we've gone to Livramento now, and he went, you're not getting him either. He went, you're not having him either. This was like February, March.
It was, yeah, it was.
This was ages ago. Livramento, I don't know. I think Pep's just, from what I got told, Pep's wanted him since Southampton. When you bought him from Southampton, I think is when City should have got him.
Do you think
but because we had Kyle Walker, we couldn't do it.
I was going to say, do you think I see a young Kyle Walker in Team Livramento?
Sorry. Is that true, what's just come out?
What's that?
Is that true, that stay? No. Where are United getting this money from?
You are kidding me.
What the hell? Have they sold somebody else?
They did go in for him last summer, though, didn't they?
I know, but it was a lot of money for Braithwaite, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was 85 million.
So where are they getting this money from? Which government's helping these?
That tells me, John Stones may actually be going to Everton now.
Wow. Say it isn't so.
It might be Johnny Stones. I mean, it's a good job Rich has gone because he'll cry. Rich is going to cry when John Stones whacks back to Everton. Well, I'm going to tell you what, how about 50 million and McAtee?
I know, but the thing is, though, we're getting McAtee, aren't we?
Yeah. No, we want 50 million.
What, for McAtee?
Yeah.
We won't.
Two can play this game, sunshine.
Yeah. English tax.
When you're playing with the big boys, as you say.
Oh. You start with your big boy stuff.
That's you. What comes out of your mouth? That's sunshine.
Hey, but no, I also told what did I say? How's your badge coming?
Me what?
How's your badge coming?
All passed, done, dusted.
The soul of this football club won't go.
Yeah.
Ian, I don't know if you
going under.
You told me just to sit back and enjoy.
Are you enjoying it?
No, I'm not.
Well,
Ian,
sorry,
Ian, I was just going to say at the top of the show, I don't know if you read, but Huang just was asking me about possibly going to the FIFA Club World Cup, and I said to him, possibly we'll be in New York when the final's on, but when they're selling the cheapest tickets at $892
Yeah.
No, I'd rather just go to the pub with the New York Sky Blues and watch it there.
Yeah.
And we did the math, and $892 is roughly about £670. Just wanted to know what, in terms of a season ticket, what would that get you at St. James's Park?
How much? Sorry,
it was a ticket for the final.
Yeah.
If City make it, is $892. So that's
Right.
around about £660. What would that get you in terms of a season ticket at St. James's Park?
Right. When I retired from playing football semi-pro, I got me because I couldn't go and watch obviously Newcastle because I was playing.
Yeah.
My first season ticket was £500, and that was in the Championship. So the 2 seasons after, Mike Ashley put it up 20%, so it went up. And as I said, I'm not doing it anymore because Mike Ashley wasn't ploughing anymore back then. But now, for a season ticket in Newcastle, I would say the lowest at this present time is probably about £650, which will be in the kids section.
That's about the same. Okay. Roughly about the same.
And I would say the maximum, don't quote me wrong, I might be wrong a little bit, I think about £1,100 for max. That's
Wow.
without obviously your corporate and stuff like that on top of that. So
Yeah.
I would say roughly about that.
Geez, so your season tickets are getting up towards like the London clubs in a way.
Yeah. Oh, they're pushing them up 1,000,000%, and it's all because it's what they're doing now is they're pushing them up. With your season tickets, you get especially now with Champions League, you get the chance to the season ticket was buy a block booking of your league games at home.
Yeah, they have a cup scheme as well, I believe.
They have a cup scheme.
Yeah.
Amanda Stavely and Merdad went down when they first took over our club. They went out to your club and moduled how you structured your club and spent time down there. And they've brought that up to us before they left. And things have been put into place of what when they were like I say when they spent time down at your club, they've done that, you know.
Yeah. Okay. No, interesting.
I was gonna say to you, in especially with the new league format in the Champions League as well, like because you're gonna get a guaranteed 8 games, so you're until January at the very least. How do you see it from your point of view that going into this one compared to the old group stage format that you competed in last time?
I like the home and away format, mate. Love it. And I think for me, I think it benefits the clubs, especially when you've got them at home. So if say for instance, you were in our group, we play us down your place. It's 1-1. You come to ours, you think, God, I've got a chance to do that. I've got a chance to get a result. But if you're the longer format, you don't get a chance to play them home and away, which is for me it's a little bit disappointing. But you get a chance to play different teams in different stadiums, which for me it's unfamiliar because of all Jesus Christ, we haven't been in it for that long apart from the other seasons before. it's still exciting for us, but I'm sure we'll take it in our stride, to be honest, mate.
Because obviously there's no relegation to the Europa League. It's basically like now all you got like is obviously now you finish in the top 8, you go straight to the last 16 or playoffs for you guys. That's obviously, as you probably watched from afar last season. So of course, you know, from your perspective, I don't know. It's going to be interesting how you guys will get on in the Champions League next season, especially with the new format in as well. Ian.
Yeah. It'll certainly test our strength of our squad and what we can do and what we can achieve. Look at. We're there because we've earned it. We're there because other teams have underperformed and allowed us to get into that Champions League
alternative.
Champions League position, which obviously understandable. We will give it our best shot. If we fall short, so what? It's another step in the right direction where our club wants to be at. And it's another way we need to strengthen to be in this format year in, year out. And small steps, as Martin has taught us time and time again, it's going to take small steps to get us in that right direction. And hours of conversation with Martin has made us understand that I'm not a Newcastle United fan. I just go, yeah, we're there. Let's do this. If when we're in this Champions League this time, we'll take another step back. It's another learning curve. It's financial side is what we need to develop to make us get forward, to make certain decisions off the pitch, where we can be like yourselves, like Liverpool's, Arsenal's, where we're around about that format year in, year out, and just be comfortable in doing it. And that's more important.
Yep, I agree. So obviously you're gonna get 4 different teams coming to St James Park, and then you'll be flying out to 4 different teams away from home as well. So that's going to be exciting, of course, as well.
You're not going to get...
Ian, if you take your 4 home matches and you win every single one of them, you're pretty much halfway to qualifying for the next round.
It's not easy winning at home. Trust us. It's not. It's that Champions League format.
It's different since they took away the away goal stuff, because everyone now, you can just sit back and get a draw, or you can get a win. It's allowed teams to... It makes the games more exciting, because the thing that's you will get your head round, and it took me ages. Your game week 1 could be Real Madrid, and then your game week 2's PSG, and you're sat there going, what about where's all these naff other teams? You know, our gimmies, as used to call them, a gimme. I know there's no such thing as a gimme, but your easier ties.
Well, Martin,
can get everyone, and you're like, whoa, here we go. It's like Super League. It is like Super League.
Well, the easy thing, Martin, before the league format came in last season, was when the draw came out, you had 3 clubs, and that was it. You put all your resources and all your all your tactics into how you're going to play those teams, and obviously that would change from away to how you played them at home. Now all of a sudden you've got to bring those tactics in for 8 other clubs, completely different styles, completely different leagues. Are they at home? Are they away? And I think it really is going to stretch the amount of resources and the amount of, how much tactics are going to be involved in terms of how you play those certain teams. And to be honest, like we looked at that season before the start of last season. We looked at it where it was like, well, if you're going to now have these match day 7 and match day 8s in the second half of January, then we kind of looked at it from a perspective of like, well, we were expecting City to dominate again the season. It didn't turn out that way, but we looked at it in a way where it was like, well, those January fixtures could almost be looked at as a dead rubber. You could almost play like, weakened squads and save them for bigger matches if they happen to be around, the same time of the season. But now all of a sudden you realize just how competitive it is and how much this actually changes, because there's so much more going on than worrying about what's actually happening in your group of 3 other clubs, that it just makes, you're right, it does make it a bit more, it actually kind of makes it like similar to the championship, when it's very competitive, because you look at, they talk about it all the time, like on TalkSport and other major outlets, where in the championship, like you could win 3 games in a row and you could be in the top 2 or 3 teams in the championship. You could lose 3 or 4 games in a row. You could be in relegation spots. Champions League is sort of playing out that same way, where as soon as you start dropping points in about 2 or 3 games, you go from being in that top 8 to being outside the top 24. So it does certainly make it more competitive. It does make it more exciting. The only thing I don't like, me personally, this is just a personal thing, is I'm quite traditionalist when it comes to it. I don't like the idea of Why does a competition have to be league format, then suddenly go into cup format anyway? It's down the line. It's like the A League, for example. Of course, I'm happy Melbourne City won the A League, but I'm not a fan of playing league for 95% of the season, and all of a sudden the winners decide by 5% of the season being a cup format. MLS is the same thing as well too. I'm not a fan of it. If you're going to do that, then you either do all one or all of the other. And it just, that's just how I see it. It just doesn't make sense to me.
No, it is. Well, like I said, it's not. I agree. The thing is, Ian, it's not fair what's going on at the minute. I will say that, because the trouble is, you've sorted your PSR out, and now you walked into the Champions League, and now you bollocksed on your wage bill. It's not fair, and it's not right, especially when you see United who are God knows in debt. Sacking the tea lady. It's not nice. But like I said, and that's all I was saying earlier, was I think what's got me today is any City fan who's talked about Livramento, and the ones I mean, they come back at you like attacking, like you're wanting to take the wife off them and the girlfriend off them, or the mother take. It's like they take it as a personal insult, like you're going to bid for one of your players. I know, and the ones I mean, some of the fans I mean, they get very. And I think but I get it, because I think, and this is just the way I see it, I think Newcastle, as a club and as a fan base, you're trying to do it the correct way by not being forced to sell anyone.
Yeah.
As a sort of middle finger to Premier League and UEFA to say, no, if it means we have to do it slowly, we do it slowly. But you're not going to force us to sell people like you have done every other club. Like Villa have now got to sell again this summer. 3rd season in a row, Villa have got to sell.
Do you know, Martin? If you came in for Livramento this time last season, he was gone because of PSR. Gone.
Yeah.
This season, we can put a stance up and go, look, we're not in a position to sell. And it's a stance where we've never been in, especially against yous, and that's good for us, because, and why should we strengthen yous? That's the thing. Where this time last season, our hands would have just been. I mean, look at the Anderson deal. What had to do with Nottingham Forest? That was ridiculous. The amount of money we had to do between the two clubs. We signed a goalkeeper off them for £25 million. The Greek. In his contract, in that contract, we spent money, and he was never going to play a first-team football game for our club.
No. Well, I think that was. I think Lewis Skelly was the same.
Yeah, but like I say, Martin, we're in a position where we don't have to sell our big assets.
No, like I said, I do think we'll bid, because Fabrizio's got it. I think we'll bid, or I think there'll be a conversation.
It's clearly stated 2 weeks ago. Wait, Martin, it was clearly stated, bloody hell, 3 months ago, that Livramento was your number one right target. You told us that, right? But it's now becoming public with journalists that Livramento is his number one right back target. Whether that bid is 80 million, we don't know. If there's
could be a player, because you know yourself, Ian, there's been rumours of Jack Grealish going up there.
Well, there was. I said about John Stones as well, and you went, you cheeky little bugger. Where did you get that one from? And look, you're smiling. You're still smiling.
I knew about Stones and Grealish interest.
Yeah. And the Jack Grealish one, it's wages. Unless you cough up half the wages, you're not going to fill it in a well with wages.
Well, give us Livramento and we'll cut you a deal. This is how it's done. You want to do deals, we'll do a deal.
I'm not Tino's Livramento's agent, and I work for the club. Like I've said, and if I'm his agent, and if I'm Newcastle United, he ain't going nowhere.
If we sent one of our players your way, to try and make the deal sort of work with Livramento, Actually, I'm going to put two names out there. Would you prefer Grealish or would you prefer McAtee?
McAtee.
Just because
I can't have McAtee going stay in the Premier League. I can't. He's got to go abroad. He's got to go to Germany.
If it was for the two, I would say McAtee, and I think it's for the future. And I just think Jack Grealish has got other issues. I may be wrong. What I see from the outside looking in,
you're not far off.
I think he's got other issues.
You're not far off. I'm not going to go into it.
And I don't want
to. Thing bad for you tonight. Mike Gay's turned down Tottenham. That's come out tonight.
Yeah, Mark Gay is still on our radar. So is Malik Chow at AC Milan.
Is James Trafford still on your radar?
James Trafford is still on our radar, but
until we do our buyback.
Before you look, you're smiling again. Before you cheeky little buggers have put a spanner in the works again, is what you always do, because Edison's going to Saudi League.
Excuse me. It was our player. Our buyback trumps your bid.
Right. So if Burnley sell for 30 million, it's £6 million to use, or you get the player back and Edison goes to Saudi, correct?
I don't.
All right, we'll scrap it. You take $6 million off Livramento for us.
No.
Yeah, not smiling. It's wind.
Hell, there's a game. It's wind, my arse. There's a game of chess going on here.
If we're Livramento, we'll call it quits. No, anyway, no. I am going to. One thing I will say is, big up. I know it's only a short one. We've been going for over 2 hours. We've had over 400 people on it alive at some point, which is amazing. 200 odd likes.
That's it. That just come on, people. You know.
Yeah, they've all come on for you, mate. But if you like this, obviously, you know Ian and Baz, Through Black and White Eyes, friends of the channel. We're going to be doing a show next season. Oil Brothers, as you know. We're all Through Black and White Eyes and the Mancunian Way are getting together to do a weekly show. So, yeah, that'll be good. Loads to come up on that. What's City Extra put in now? What? Right, yeah. I already know that, yeah. 70 million. That was, the finalising the deals. That'll be announced tomorrow, Cade. I will be amazed if Jajana Reinders doesn't get the Here We Go tomorrow. Cherki, that's finally going to get sorted. Ain't no he'll get done. Those three will be done before the Club World Cup. And then we'll see what happens with the right back. Another mid and maybe a goalie. We don't know. We'll have to see what happens. We are back tomorrow, 1 p.m, Pat.
Yes, 1 p.m. We'll have a bit of a later start for us today.
Yeah, later start where they'll talk about all this, any news that breaks, because they may even get the Tajana Reinders Here We Go news, or the 8 Nora. Here we go. And they'll celebrate Melbourne City winning the league. At least someone in the City group wins a trophy.
Yep. And it makes perfect sense that someone from Sydney will be celebrating a Melbourne victory. Yeah. Actually, no, that's the name of the team that lost. So no, sorry. Scrap that.
Yeah. I'm not on tomorrow. I'll be back Thursday night chat. And then Friday, we'll have the waffle show with LB. Pat, and whoever else joins us. But Ian, thank you for joining us, mate.
Top man.
Pleasure as always. Did you get my message here when I said cheer up? Yes,
I did. That's why I said that's a
You look very miserable.
Huh?
You look very miserable earlier. They were doing a rating over and go and watch it. You should have seen it. I thought he was holding something in the way he was like.
What were they doing? What was it doing? What was it doing?
You were giving something 5 out of 10. What was you giving? You gave something 5 out of 10. I can't remember what it was now.
Oh, it's probably been about Saint-Maximin or something like that.
Benfica's João Felix is going back to Benfica. João Felix just moves around, doesn't he?
He's stealing a living, that man.
Frig's sake.
It's his fault for going Atletico so early.
I'm just seeing if there's any late night stuff that's come out. No, there's nothing come out. Just Cherki. Oh, yeah, there is no. There is no release clause. Well, yeah, we knew that. That's why they're negotiating price. I think that's it. I think that's everything. But yeah, big up to everyone. We'll see you all tomorrow for 1 p.m. for Blues Down Under. I won't see you now till Thursday. So big up to everyone. Go and show a lot of love, 3 Black and White Eyes. And we'll see you all later on. But if anything breaks, we will be live. Because trust me, unlike Newcastle, we're getting our business done. They're not getting any here we goes. There's no here we goes going on from any of them.
Oh, another one of Martin's trademark hit and runs.
Oh, he's a classic, isn't he?
Yeah.
Throws
a grenade and just runs off.
Up there, Blues, he says.
Don't worry, Ian. We'll show you what being a big club means. Take care, all.